All right, so this video will show how to answer the practice exercise that was mentioned in the lesson notes. As a reminder, that's the one in the do loop section, which said write a routine to count up the first 20 counting numbers. So we're going to do that. Since I want to actually compile and demonstrate the result of this, we have to put it inside of a class. Everything that's done inside of Java actually has to be contained within a class. So I'll just create a little class called test, in which I'll do it. And I'll just create a little empty constructor just so that we can create a class object. All right, so now let's create the routine. So the routine is going to count up, add up the first 20 counting numbers, okay? So I don't need to receive anything from the user. Counting numbers begin at 1, so the first 20 are 1 through 20. I don't need the user to tell me anything. I know how to be able to handle that. What kind of data type am I going to return? The sum of adding up those 20 integers. So it will be an integer type, which return type is integer. And I'll just call it, say, count 20, give it some name that describes it a little bit. I don't have any arguments to the method, so nothing's inside the parentheses. Okay. So now what am I doing? Well, I need a variable to hold my total, my sum. And we'll start it with 0 because we haven't added anything to it yet. So now we'll create the do loop. And what are you going to do inside that loop? Well, we're going to add a counting number to the total. Well, that means I also need the counting number as well as the total. So I'll declare a variable for that and start it at 1 because counting numbers begin at 1. So I will add to total. So that is the receiver of a calculated value. So it's on the left-hand side of an assignment. And what is the formula on the right? I'm taking the current value that's in the total and adding the count. And then I'm increasing the count. So that I will get the next one. I've added in the current count, which starts at 1 and then gets incremented each time. So I just want to increment so I get the next one. That's all I have to do in the loop. Now, what's my condition? Now remember, the condition for the do loop must resolve to a true. So it must be something that would keep looping if it's true and stop looping when it's false. So we are adding up the first 20 counting numbers. So therefore, count, which is a variable that holds our counting numbers, would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., up to 20. So long as count is less than 20, then we can go. Well, is it less than or less than or equal to? We've incremented the count here, and it hasn't been added into the total yet, and we want to include 20. So when we test it, and we would test the loop condition when it hits the end brace here. So when it's equal to 20, it hasn't been added in yet. So we want to go while count is less than or equal to 20. Okay, that's good. And then all we want to do is return our total. So we'll save that. Very good. And we will compile it, make sure I didn't make any stupid little typo errors. I did not. So now let's conveniently test our wonderful little routine here that counts them up. First, let's know what the number is supposed to be. Okay, so the interactions pane can serve as a calculator. So I just want to create a formula that adds up the numbers from 1 to 20. All right, make sure I have them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Didn't miss any. So that total is 210. So if it's working properly, that should be the answer I get back from the method. So let's create my object, type test, and call the count20 method. Now do not, if you're using the interactions pane of Dr. Java, remember, do not put in the semicolon if you wish to see the result of calling the method. If you want to receive the return value from the method, do not type the semicolon. And we get 210. Same number we got up above when we just had the formula. So we get the same number. It's clearly working. And that's the code to do that. Basically, that is using the do loop. To find whatever we need, the variables that we need within the loop before the loop starts, any change to the variables, in other words, increase in count, is done inside the loop. Make sure that our while condition will continue to loop so long as it's true, and then whatever we're returning when we're all done with the loop. That's our basic structure.